Everybody, happy Friday. Welcome to Quantum Ascent. I have Ethereum up on the screen, and I know it has been a brutal week for the crypto markets, for the precious metal market. It just hasn't been fun this week, but that's okay. We got some good things going on here on the long term. Finally got some kind of capitulative moment in the markets. Was really boring just kind of sitting through this for months. So at least we have some movement. Hopefully that just kind of shakes things loose here. So let's talk about Ethereum and where we're at. I'm going to take the fib range from the high there to the low down here. You draw that out and you can see we came down and tested that 236 level on this whole range. All right. What's interesting about Ethereum, almost everything has taken out its April 25 low here. Ethereum has not. So this is going to mean one of two things are happening right now. One, either Ethereum is showing more strength against the market and we're going to see this thing take off, and maybe not take off, but it's outperforming everything right now for the most part, right? Or what it means is it's lagging, and since everything else is taking this out, maybe we bomb Iran or something, and then bam, that's the moment that it takes it out. But I'm leaning more towards the bull case right now. If there is some crazy stuff that happens over the weekend, hopefully these next, today, tomorrow, we can get a little bit higher up. So in the event of another drop, we're not just like completely plummeting to zero, right? So looking at that, you can see we had the 236 right there. Going back here, guys, to March of 2025, April of 2025, everybody was screaming it was over when we took this out right here, right? Similar to what's happening with Bitcoin right now, the market in general. Well, that ended up being the bottom. I publicly tweeted about it being the bottom back there because there were a lot of good signs going on. What ended up happening after that point? Ethereum went 250%, right? Which is a 3.5x in 133 days. So what is that, 4 months? That's what ended up happening, right? We're looking for something similar time-wise here to get us moving. We're at a level of interest, and especially when you have things like the others chart breaking out against Bitcoin, you have Bitcoin dominance teetering. I'm not going to go into that on here. I do a lot of that over there in my group, but we're expecting a move from Ethereum, and I'm not looking for 15, 17K. Are they possible? Yeah, absolutely, they're possible. I'm looking more up here between like the 1618, 2618. So from where we're at, if we were going to do the same move, where would that take us? That gets us up to like $6,300 by summer. All right. And again, we're not saying that's going to take off now. We're not saying it's going to be the same exact rise, but everybody screamed it was over right here, and you would have made a 3.5x. And we know that alts had a good time during that time period too. So that is the fibs from high to low. Now let's take a look at retracements on fibs from low to high. See if there's any confluence. I do that, and what do you know? Smacked the 786 of this retrace. So Ethereum just found there's confluence of two levels here as support, and that's the exact area it wicked down into throughout all the craziness. I can go ahead and I'll lay this over just so you guys can see, right? The 236 on the big range, and then the 786 of the retrace, both right here. That's the exact level that we found. And from a technical perspective, coming back down to test this level, pretty normal. So let's see. We got to wait and see what gets going. But the other good piece of news right now is we've just been so oversold for so long. Like, we haven't been up in bullish territory since September 22nd. Your boy's birthday, actually. Haven't been up there since there. So it's been bearish during this whole drop, and you can see that that's what we've gotten. From a wave count perspective on Ethereum, let's see. Certainly looks like it's going to complete an A, B, C. The way to make sure is we got to make sure that the C wave is at least the length of the A wave. So that was the A wave. I take this from the top right there. Wow, look at that. Nailed it. The exact level that we would have been looking for to suffice a minimum ABC was hit, and it was hit within these retracements on these fibs. So, guys, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic here. There's obviously a lot of geopolitical tension right now going on all across the board. I don't love that we took out some of these levels on some of the other charts, especially Bitcoin. So like I said, I'll be cautious. I'll layer out just a little bit at a time on the way up. And once things really start to look a little murky, I'll start setting some take profits on that so that we don't end up sitting through, a real crash. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, this crash, it sucked, but you're talking about like a real bear market, and you're talking about things going down like 80%. A lot of our alts are already down 90+%, but you look at Ethereum and you're talking about Ethereum even going down 80. Where does that put us? Wow. Okay, a double bottom, but that's like a $900 Ethereum, right? All the way up from 5K. So, and a lot of times, like, let's take a look at this bear. I'm already making this too long. I'm going to cut it here in a sec. That was a 92% drop. Where's 92? $350 Ethereum. Like, you'd be looking at this high right here. If this truly was what we were going to be capitulating into for our bear market, that level, right? I would, oh man, I would hammer that. So I don't think that's what's happening right now. Showed you the chart, showed you the supports, and obviously a lot of other things going on in the macro. You have the Russell 2000, all U.S. indices up at all-time highs. You have international stock markets at all-time highs. A lot of good news. Just have to sit through this noise a little bit. I think a lot of this was driven by precious metals. A lot of people over-leverage themselves. And, you know, once Binance and Coinbase also open that up and let people start leverage trading metals, and then it crashes the next day, well, all of their crypto is going to get liquidated in that move as well in order to cover that loss. So still cautiously optimistic, guys. Hang in there. Like I mentioned, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos a day, a Discord, and I teach you how to do TA. Link to that in my bio. If not, thank you so much for being here. If you guys could follow, like, repost, I want to blast this out to as many as I can before it's too late. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you in the next one.